went to for the next 6 months, but I do remember the prescription. Every day, the doctor told me, every day you must take this pill. He went on to stress that if taken irregularly or stopped suddenly, the pill could trigger an even worse episode than any I had experienced. And I sat, and I tried to swallow this information. I was going to take this pill, this little white pill with blue writing, once a day, every day, forever. The rest of high school was better. I made a calendar to help me remember to take my pill, and I took it every day. I started college with my secret, that little pill I took every morning to keep me sane. And then, sometime during sophomore year, it hit me. I was medicated. The medication had, as intended, chopped off the deepest lows, but also the highest highs of my moods. It's like I wasn't feeling anything at all. I was taking a pill every day to function at a normal level, and I felt dulled, numb even. So I stopped taking it, or rather, I forgot. I conveniently forgot to take this pill that had saved me throughout high school. I chose to overlook those terrifying journal entries that showed me where I had been pre-medication. And slowly, I spiraled out of control. My grades slipped. I slept through everything, but I hardly slept at all. And I drank. I drank to get hammered at every opportunity. Usually, I would black out, brown out at the very least. And I felt a part of something. When I drank, I didn't have to worry about the numbness or even the returning scary dark parts of my feelings. Drunk, I was like every other college girl. Except I wasn't, because I was experiencing withdrawal symptoms from a medication that allowed me control over my life, this pill. And I would come home from drinking and write. At a place right now where I read my older entries, and it seems that I've always felt this way. I am exhausted. I was exhausted. I was so incredibly, indescribably sad. All numbness had faded, and I felt the depression inside of me like this black hole in my gut. I hated myself, and I had convinced myself that I was worth no more than hate from anyone else. I wanted out. On May 26, 2011, my dad sent me downtown to pick my sister up from practice. And the knowledge that she was waiting on me was the only reason I would drive myself off the road. I was scared. I was so scared. The next morning, I asked my parents to admit me to a psych ward. It was agreed that I would stay at home under my parents' watch and resume my medication over the course of the next 2 weeks. It has been almost a year and a half since the day that I seriously considered taking my own life. And now, that day is part of my identity too. My medication has allowed me to get back to a place where I can look on that day with perspective. I almost ended it all. And for what? There is so much ahead, so much joy to be had. That day is now part of my identity, as is my medication. I am medicated, but I'm also a sister, a daughter, a cousin, a friend, a roommate, a Duke student. My medication allows me to be these things and be them to the best of my ability. I am so much more than medication.